The first thing you want to do in order to tap into your inner confidence is let go of any limiting belief or self-doubt that you may have. You want to just look it straight in the eye and just wave it goodbye and be like, goodbye, limiting belief, adieu. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. I mean, if it works for you, you must be like a 1 in a million, 1 in a billion maybe, because letting go is something that it sounds really simple to do, but in practice, it's actually really difficult. I mean, there's people that are in retirement homes that are talking about what they have regretted in their lives, what they wish they would have done. And then there's people that hold guilt or hold resentment their entire lives. And these are all symptoms of not being able to let go. I'm gonna share with you what I found to be the most effective way in letting go. But before I dive into this 3-step guide, we need to first understand what it is we're talking about when we talk about inner confidence. So I'm gonna first share with you guys a quick story to exemplify what I mean when we talk about inner confidence. Okay, so when I was a kid, I really looked up to my older cousin. To me, she exuded confidence. When I went over to her place, she had so many trophies and awards from basketball. She had straight A's in school. And whenever we had family dinners, she was always the one that was chatting with all the adults, whereas I didn't have a lot of confidence. The only thing that I was confident in was my ability to work hard. And that lack of confidence carried with me in my later years too. So I experienced imposter syndrome when I was both in school and in work, even though I had gotten in my dream school, and even though at work I would get awards and recognition for my performance, I still felt like I only got those things because I had worked hard, not because I was good at what I was studying or doing. And don't get me wrong, when I received those things, I felt a sense of accomplishment. But I would say my confidence level or lack of confidence, that really didn't change much at all. And I wondered, why was it that even after receiving these awards, this recognition, that I was still not confident? The difference between my cousin and I was that my cousin, she had inner confidence to begin with, and the accomplishments that she received, they were just a byproduct of that. And it wasn't until I did the inner work that I realized what it meant to be truly confident from within. Wow, okay, I feel a lot more comfortable with you after sharing my story. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Judy. I make videos on self-discovery to help you become the truest version of yourself. And when it comes to confidence, it really doesn't matter where you're starting from, whether you have a lot of confidence or not much of it at all. I'm going to help you raise that confidence level wherever you're currently at. I just talked about how external things really aren't a true substitute for inner confidence. You may or may not resonate with my story, and that's totally okay. So in general then, by definition, what do we even mean by confidence? What is this confidence that you're trying to tap into? By definition, confidence is a measure of how certain we are about something. So when we say we are 100% confident about an event happening, we are saying that we're 100% certain of that event happening. So think about your local coffee shop that you usually walk past every single day on your way to work or school. And you know that it's gonna be 100% open at 10 a.m. because 100 out of 100 times that you have walked past this coffee shop at 10 a.m., it's been open. Now, when we talk about inner confidence, it's the same concept regarding certainty, except now we're talking about how certain we are about ourselves, about our own abilities. And for some people, raising their inner confidence is as simple as being more consistent with their daily responsibilities, because then you're showing yourself that you can be more dependable on what it is that you need to get done every single day. You're more certain that you'll actually get those things done and being consistent. But for a lot of people, we have limiting beliefs and we have all this doubt that's in our mind about whether we can accomplish new things or goals. So we're not fully trusting ourselves because of all this doubt and limiting beliefs. We need to let go of that. We might procrastinate. We might engage in self-sabotaging behavior. We might not even start new projects because in fear of not being able to do well on them in the first place, like perfectionism. And that's totally okay if you have ever felt this way, I'm 100% confident in saying that every single conscious being out there has had their run-in with self-doubt. So don't beat yourself up about it. You didn't have the tools back then, or perhaps the awareness, but we're gonna change that. I'm gonna give you the tools, because seriously, life can be so much better than you could ever imagine when you actually have the confidence to pursue your passion, your dreams, what you truly want in your life. So let's change that. Okay, something important to mention is that we can only envision our best life based on what we know and perceive as our best life. So what tapping into your inner confidence will do is give you the confidence to accomplish your goals and stretch your goals. By stretching your goals, you will be able to stretch beyond what is within your realm of possibility, and you'll be able to see more of what is actually possible to manifest in your reality. So how is this going to work? For the next 10 minutes or so, I'm gonna break down step by step, 3 steps on how you can tap into your inner confidence. I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible, but it will help if you can grab pen and paper to jot down some notes. If you don't have that right now, no worries. I'm gonna include timestamps so that you can rewatch the video later on, and you can skip directly to the how-to section then. The first thing that you want to do to tap into your inner confidence is to let go of any limiting belief that you aren't capable. Whether it's the belief that you aren't capable of accomplishing things, making big change in your life, or even trying new things. Because there's no amount of affirmations you can tell yourself if you still have that belief that deep down you can't trust yourself to get things done. So how do we let go of this limiting belief? We let go of it by no longer identifying with it from this moment onwards. Now, I would say the hardest part about letting go is being willing to let go of it, like working up the courage to let go of this belief. Now, you might wonder, why would I want to not let go of this? It's blocking me from tapping into my inner confidence. Well, a lot of people hold on to this belief that they aren't capable is because it allows for them to stay comfortable. And as humans, we gravitate towards comfort and what is familiar. When we believe that we aren't capable, we can hide behind the belief that I don't even have to pursue this new venture anyways or this new project, because I'm not going to do a good job anyway, so why even bother trying? And in this sense, we can stay comfortable within our same routines, within our same bubble. But is being within that comfort worth the detriment of not realizing your true potential? Because your inner confidence, that already exists within you. It's just being blocked by layers of self-doubt and that limiting belief that you aren't capable. Think back to when you were a kid. So when you were a kid, you were going to school. Before all that negative programming was instilled, you would just try a bunch of new activities and new things just for the joy of doing it, not worrying about whether you do a good job or a bad job. Now, you can always tap back into that inner confidence. We just need to let go of all those layers of self-doubt and that limiting belief. Now, I found that the most effective way to let go, to cut through all of that, is to accept the reality. So accept that, yes, there is some part of you that believes in some form you aren't capable, and that some part of you clinged onto that because it allowed for you to stay comfortable. But now you're at a point where you want change in your life and you're ready for change, and that you're not going to shun yourself for the past, because that's in the past. You're leaving in the past. You are in the present moment now. And in the present moment, you can choose what you believe in, even though you've had doubts follow you for maybe years or even decades. It doesn't have to take years or decades to let go of it. So easiest way is to accept the current reality and not add any further resistance to it. This is how you bypass the hardest part of having to work up the courage, because if you are accepting of the reality, you are past that point of working up the courage. You are moving forward already. Okay, next step. Now that we have left what was holding us back in the past, we're in this current moment now, and I'm with you in this very present moment, and I'm asking you, what do you want to believe in? Do you want to believe that you're a capable person? Do you want to believe that you are someone who can handle your responsibilities 100% of the time, majority of the time? To believe that you can tap into your inner peace even when it feels like the whole world is falling apart? to be the type of person that knows everything is going to be okay because you trust yourself so much that you know you can recover from anything, that it might take a long time depending on the situation, but you trust that you can take care of yourself. To believe that with any new pursuit, you'll be okay, even if the result you get isn't ideal, because you believe that what matters the most is experience that is gained. To believe that even if you aren't the most prepared for a certain situation, in the face of it, you're gonna give it your all. You're gonna give it 100%. And that next time you'll go into it more prepared. But in the current moment, it is what it is. I'm gonna give it 100%. To believe that you are someone who is becoming more certain of who they are every single day. To believe that you are someone who isn't afraid to mess up, who doesn't let perfectionism stop them from trying new things. The choice is yours. I'm not going to tell you what to believe in because I believe there's so much power in making your own choices. So I'm not going to take that away from you. What I will say is really think it through, because so many of our choices are influenced by our beliefs. Now, the last step is to live life as a self-confident person would. Now, if you've been following along closely, you would have noticed that we've applied a couple techniques, the first of which was the letting go technique, and the second of which we just apply the groundwork with our new beliefs to manifest what will affirm back to us that we are self-confident people. But your manifestations, they're not going to work. They're not going to work unless you do the things that a self-confident person would. Same thing with your new beliefs. If you do not do the things that align with your new beliefs, it's not going to work. Your mind needs to get used to this new version of you, and it's going to take some time. You will feel a lot of resistance. Just know that's part of the process. It's what happens whenever you shift to a new normal. Think back to whenever you had to move schools or move homes. There's always this adjustment period before you have settled into your new situation. So step 3 is to step into the identity of a self-confident person and do like a self-confident person would. And for the remainder of this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what a self-confident person would do so that you can mimic these things to help reinforce this new belief. Okay, number 1, self-confident people are consistent. How we show up for ourselves in our day-to-day lives, that's incredibly important. If we can only rely on ourselves to be on time for work or school 50% of the time, then we're only 50% confident that we're gonna make it on time. Think about little things in your life that you can shift or make changes on. It doesn't have to be anything big. Think about things that you can be consistent with. So if it means setting your alarm 10 minutes earlier every single day, then do that every single morning. It doesn't have to be anything big, but in doing that every single day, it's going to make a really big difference because it's going to show you that you are capable of change and you're capable of sustaining it as well. For myself, it's making breakfast every single morning. And well, actually, it's having breakfast every single morning. I would say most mornings I make my breakfast, but occasionally I'll get takeout. But regardless, I have breakfast every single morning. It's to this point now where my stomach, it really grumbles even if I'm an hour past my usual breakfast time. So when you are consistent, even one inconsistency, it's gonna really show like really loudly. And a habit tracker, that can do wonders to help you keep track of your progress. And it just looks really nice when you have all these like check marks in your habit tracker to show how consistent you have been. Number 2, self-confident people, they pursue things despite feeling fear. It's not that self-confident people don't feel fear. They might struggle with perfectionism or crippling anxiety before they start something new, but they understand that beyond that fear, that's where their true desires lie. And for myself, whenever I start something new, like this YouTube channel, I always feel fear. I always feel anxiety, but I'll give myself a pep talk. I'll tell myself like, hey, it's totally normal to feel the way that you feel. Like you've never done this before, but let's give it our best shot. And you know, you might get the result that you had hoped for, you might not, but you're gonna be able to sleep well at the end of the day because you're not gonna have any regrets in giving your best shot. And whenever I tell myself this, I always feel more calm, more courageous, confident, and it also helps me feel more present. When I'm not anxious about the result, I actually end up having a lot more fun with the thing that I'm doing. So if you see me having fun in my videos, being playful, it's because I gave myself that pep talk right before. And to add to this point, I was recently listening to Jay Shetty's podcast, and he had brought in Mel Robbins as a guest. And I'm paraphrasing now, but Mel was mentioning how it's always the first time that we attempt something that we feel the most resistance. And every single time after, though, it just gets easier. And I just found so much truth in that. I was thinking about how it might be because we put so much meaning on the first time. So we talk about first kisses, first time traveling outside of the country, first time this, first time that. We really don't hear people talk about second time this or second time that as much, do you? We realize after we try something for the first time that it wasn't that big of a deal. So allow yourself to mess up if it means doing that or never starting something at all. You're gonna raise your confidence in trying new things just by doing the thing regardless of the result. As for results, some people say to have expectations, some people say to not have expectations. I say just go into things with the intention to give it your all, and whatever the result is, it is. It could be amazing or it could have been better, but it is what it is. And know that you have gained experience. Like if you were to do something the next time, you can't even guarantee that you're gonna perform better the next time, but what you can guarantee is that you're gonna gain more experience. And what I find really helpful is actually valuing experience. The experience is what builds character. And if I were learning how to snowboard for the first time and I was given the option to choose between two different teachers, one guy who had lots of experience teaching people how to snowboard and the other guy who had no experience but has 2 Olympic gold medals, I would choose the first guy. But that's just me valuing experience and not just the results. Number 3, self-confident people trust themselves. So how can we build trust of ourselves? Let's brainstorm here. And first think about why we lose trust in other people. So we typically lose trust in other people when they overstep our boundaries or when they do things that they say they wouldn't do. And now let's take the opposite of that. So in taking the opposite of overstepping our boundaries, we can build trust of ourselves by not breaking our own hearts, by overstepping our own boundaries. And another thing is have your actions match your own words. Be someone that you can depend on yourself. And another thing is wherever you are in your life, be realistic. Be realistic with yourself, because otherwise, isn't that just gaslighting yourself? Okay, wow, that gives me a lot to think about. But if you're someone who depends a lot on others for your basic needs, consider what you can take on yourself. For example, if whenever you experience a disturbance in your life, you find yourself having to vent to a friend as soon as possible, consider self-soothing instead of outsourcing your emotional support to another person. And another example, if you are relying on someone else for your financial needs, consider creating your own income stream, whether it be a job, through investments, or your own business. Because if the person who is supporting you no longer has the means to or suddenly stops, then you can trust yourself to pay your own bills, to support yourself. You're confident that you can handle your own finances. And of course, it's nice to be able to rely on someone. It's such a luxury. But when it comes to the point where it's to your own detriment, where you start to perceive yourself as someone who isn't capable of doing this on your own, then that's going to negatively affect your confidence level and how you see yourself. And you are so capable of doing all of this on your own. Like, you've got this. That's all for this video. I'm so excited for you to crush the rest of the year with more confidence. If you enjoyed this video and you want to be part of the message that I'm trying to spread in believing in yourself, feel free to share this with others, share it on your Instagram stories, and of course the usual like, comment, subscribe, check out the links in the description. And until next time, peace.